Hi, I'm Marcus from Hambledon Rehab, and today we're going to be looking at foot flow. Today's foot flow video is all about assessing and improving your foot health. It is based on everything that we've done in the previous foot videos, and I would strongly suggest that you watch those so that you know the movements and you know what it is that you're assessing as we run through those. I'll put a little link up here for you should you need to access those. First of all, we're going to have a little look at some anatomy though as a quick refresher. So, big toe side, we have the tibia, fibula around here, this side, calcaneus, we have the talus, navicular, cuneiforms, metatarsals, toes or phalanges. Around this side, fibula, tibia on this side now, calcaneus, talus tucked in here, cuboid, you can just see the cuneiforms, metatarsals, and then toes or phalanges. Other important points to note, turn it that way so it's a little easier for you to see, we have these little red areas here forming the foot tripod. So the anterior portion of the heel or calcaneus bone, the portion here of the fifth met head, and this portion here of the first met head. Okay, let's get going. It's important to remember all movements should be cued from the foot up and not from the hip or knee down. We're going to start at the calcaneus. I'm going to drive forwards from the heel. Take it back and drive from the balls of the feet. Now if this isn't giving you enough movement, we can come through here, step through and step back. It's important if you're doing this that you remember that all 3 points of contact with the foot tripod need to be in place at all times. We're then going to move on to a combination drill of the cuboid, navicular and the metatarsals. So we're going to lift up onto the ball of the big toe. We're going to push down through that medial arch, opening up the area around the navicular. Back up into that first metatarsal head. I'm going to keep that loaded for about 10 seconds. Onto the second metatarsal head. The third metatarsal head. The fourth met head. And then the fifth met head. We're then going to push down through the lateral arch, opening up the area around the cuboid, and back up onto that fifth met head again. To the fourth, to the third, to the second, and to the first. Back down, opening up that medial arch again. Good. Back up into the first met head, to the second, to the third, to the fourth, to the fifth. Quicker this time, and then we're going to push through the lateral arch. Now this time I'm showing the variation. So going through there, opening up the area around the cuboid. Make sure you get all the way to the back. Back up into that fifth met head again. To the fourth. To the third. To the second. To the first. And I'm going to take the toes into full extension. Come through here. We want them all to get that extension. And up into flexion, toes under. And that completes part one. Now, assuming there are no issues with part one, we can then move on to part two. If there were, go back, do the associated rehab with the areas that you had problems with. So, we are going to look at the cuboid fibula sequencing. So from here through to here. Here. Make sure as we come back, the fibula is moving appropriately in both directions. Okay, so we're now going to move on to the talus mobility. Make sure your feet are appropriately positioned. Move the weight onto the one that you're working. You're going to externally rotate from the foot. You may get some supination, that's fine. Just make sure that your tripod remains in contact with the floor. Take that back. Again round. And again. So that's our external rotation. It's really important. We make sure our hip is centrated throughout. And then we're going to do the internal rotation. Good. Again, assuming there were no issues with those movements, we can move on to the final stage. Okay, so before we jump into doing the final part, I actually want to explain that it's really important to make sure that you do flow part 1 and 2 on both feet before attempting to do this next portion. So I'm going to explain you, or rather I'm going to show you why that is. So I'm going to come across here, and this is pretty easy. I'm going to come across here, the side I haven't done today's mobility, and you can see really clanky, and I feel there's a load of issues in my foot. So even if you've only got issues on one side, please make sure that you do the mobility drills, the flow parts 1 and 2 on both feet before attempting the finale. So the big finale, as I said, make sure you've done parts 1 and 2 of the foot flow first. We're going to find our ASIS, we're going to take a little hip hinge. There's another video on that you can watch as well if you're unsure how to do that. And then we're going to come across to this right hand side, making sure that we stay nice and level with that pelvis. We're going to transition across to the other side, driving with that foot, making sure that we stay nice and level, and back, and over we go. It's important to do this at a pace with which you can monitor your own body and make sure that you're doing everything you should be, so that you don't end up losing your alignment. And you're done. If you found this video useful, please give it one of these. If you have any questions, comments, queries, or ideas for other content that you would like to see, please pop them in the comments down below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, either here or here. And of course, please feel free to share this content.